Machirat.
My name is Tanya. How are you?
I'm well. I'm Guy Winterstein.
Okay. Please tell us about you.
I'm Guy Winterstein. I'm from France. I'm a Romani Sinti, gypsy from France. I live in the USA since 1992. I'm a hairstylist here on 57th Street and 5th Avenue. Celebrity hairstylist in New York. I love what I do.
Okay, you seem very passionate about hairstyling.
Very, very.
How long have you been a hairstylist for?
I started, I was 14 years old, so like somewhere between 25, 26 years.
Have you traveled the world?
Yes, I did. I lived in Japan. I lived in Cuba. I went most of everywhere, working out of Milan, London, Paris for the shows, do a lot of fashion work, fashion shows, photo shoots, celebrities, so it takes me everywhere. Yeah, it's a great job, and hairstyling, it's something that pleases people and makes somebody happy. It's really priceless.
Absolutely.
And it's magic.
So my next question would be, you mentioned that you're Rome.
Yes, indeed.
What makes you a Rome?
I will stay in my blood, but then again, it's mostly culture, tradition, the family is grounded, the way. I think the family is one of the most characteristic of the Roma. We are a very tight family.
How do you feel just being? Do you feel any different being a Rome here in this society? How do you really feel
here
about
in
that?
New York? I don't because here the more unique you are, the more different, the better it is.
In your opinion, what do you think is the most important values a person should have? It doesn't matter if you're Rome, not Rome, Gadget. What is the value that really...
Respect. To me, there's one laws, and it's divine and human laws. Don't do to other what you don't want to do to you, but do to other what you would like people to do to you. Food things, let me be, I respect you, respect me. And
Absolutely.
Live together without difference. That's what makes it rich, interesting, and make us all great. Mankind is a great because we are different, and I think that's what we should embrace.
Right.
And I'm proud to be a Sinti Romani here in this country, but I know people in Europe who are not saying it, because I moved in this country because of racism. I was a hairdresser. I wanted to work in Paris, in the big city,
Right.
And I found a job at a very super salon, high-end, like the best salon in Paris. And I did a try. They tested me for 2 months work. And when they were about to sign the contract, at the time I was staying with some family in a gypsy camp in the suburb of Paris. Because I didn't know anybody else in Paris, I had to stay somewhere while I find a job. So when my employer find out that I was staying in a gypsy camp, they're like, oh, you know what, it's going to be difficult, there's the crisis, there's no money. I knew it was because of that, and I tried hard. And I said, you know what, I'm out to America. And when I came here, in America, I was afraid to say that I'm a Roma. I was like, after what happened to me in France, how we were considered, I was afraid to say I'm a Sinti. I said, I don't know, I'm an orphan. I was like, try to, hide away. But
this happens with most, I see it, just my opinion, with most successful, lighter skinned Romani people that can actually get away without saying that they're Roma.
Yeah.
They could get away with it, and they choose not to sometimes for whatever the occasion is.
Yes.
And that's a good and a bad thing, because then what happens to our brothers and sisters that can't hide it?
Exactly. It's a good point. When I was a kid, my parents tried hard to put me in school, right? Wherever we would travel, I live in a caravan, trailers, roaming the the
That's
roads
beautiful.
of France. That was a beautiful lifestyle, but my parents nevertheless would try hard to put me to school so I get an education as basically as it could be. But each and every time they would put me in school, first of all, the teacher would put me in the back of the class because I was a gypsy.
Right.
And they will take us like we were, they didn't teach us anything. Kids, me who are blue eyes and pale skin, right? They'll be like, gypsy, go back to your country. I'm like blonde. You have blue eyes. You know, I'm more French than you are. You know, if you white and blue eyes, it's the passports.
Right. I also think that was back in the day, that set of mind was in the past. Now, as we move forward, people have integrated, you know?
Right.
I feel like African Americans integrated.
Right.
And now Obama is the president of America, the powerhouse, you know, in the world. And then we have so many African Americans that have proven themselves, you know? I feel like now with the Romani people, we need Romani people that can actually not only prove themselves, but actually come out and say, I am Romani and this is what I do. And this is why we're actually here.
Right.
And trying to interview you because you're so successful and you're a great person. So, you know, I do want to thank you. We're right in the middle of the interview, but I do want to thank you for that because it's a perfect time.
Of course. Nice to hear.
Also, you did mention weaknesses.
Yes.
But I actually want to speak about your accomplishments and your strengths. So I want you to just name a few, and what are you really proud of? What do you really think for you it's important, and what do you think is a strength, you know, in your life? What did you succeed so far?
Independence. Independence. I don't need anything from anybody. Like, it doesn't matter. You put me in the country, a week later I speak the language, adaptation, independence, and
that is amazing.
Quick thinking. But I think it's a Romani.
That's a characteristic.
It's a characteristic.
Trait. Absolutely. So, with that said, I want to know, how do you feel, and do you feel it's necessary to actually get together and connect with other Romani people here in the U.S.?
I think it's important. There's a big bridge though between the American Romani and for me, I was born in Europe, you know, and when I went to talk to these people, since they live together in Otraci, you know, the Roma here we live, like I said, family. They have the same characteristic. So since they see me alone here, how can you be a Roma? You're by yourself. So I had but I try, and I think it will help. But it has some kind of organization should be made official.
Do you think you can motivate others to understand and educate them on, you know, Roma culture?
I work on a project with a photographer that we travel from France to India, where we're from originally in the 8th century, from Rajasthan. That's where Roma are from. So I went, we did a road trip from France to India. We crossed all the countries, photographed, meet everybody. I came up with a documentary, which amateur, of course, I'm not a filmmaker. And I collaborate on this book called Gypsies at the Powerhouse, which is a photo book, an essay. And that was one way to try to show my people. I think I did it with a Gaji who wanted to see one side of the things, you know. It is like the gangster, the stuff, the misery,
stuff,
the visual stuff. So I was a little bit disappointed, even though the project came out amazing. It's a beautiful project and I'm really proud of it. But this is not really, I didn't really feel like I was trying for the Gaji, you know, make a book from a Romani to show my people. It didn't really happen like that. But what was very important, it's, for example, I remember in my life I was in Slovakia. I mean, I traveled the world from my job as a hairstylist or as a curious person. I went to a lot of places in the world, but me as a Roma, I speak some. I'm not fluent in Sinti, but I can get around. You know, I make myself understand to my. What was really incredible is to see those little children there in those places. It was very terrible to see me. And to listen to me, for me, oh, you're Roma, you live in New York, you do hair for the Michael Jackson and everything. Yeah, so this will give them so much motivation and inspiration. So I think I try to, not to educate the gadget, but at least I put an impact on those kids. And now maybe I'm 1 out of 100 will, oh my God, me too. If he can do it, he's a Roma too, I can do it too.
Sallamalar